Abram and Lot separate. Before this story, we learned about how Abram was called by God to leave his country, and God would bless him, make his name great, and make him into a great nation. Now we will learn about how Abram and Lot separate and go their own ways. Abram helps his nephew after a battle, and how God makes an unchanging promise to Abram, inspired by the book of Genesis. Because the land could not sustain all the livestock and animals and possessions, Abram and Lot decided to no longer quarrel and go in different directions. Lot looked out at the Jordan Valley that was full of fertile plains in the direction of Zoar. The plains were watered everywhere. They reminded him of the Lord and how beautiful the land of Egypt was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot chose the whole Jordan Valley and everything east of them. Then he took his flocks of animals and servants there, then parted with Abram. Abram settled in Canaan. After that, Lot moved his tents near Sodom because it was his land. Near Lot's land, there was a city full of wicked people who sinned against the Lord frequently. After Lot left Abram, the Lord said to him, "How far can you see north and south, east and west? All that land you see I am giving to you and your children permanently for their possessions. I will give you many children, more than the dust on the earth. You will not be able to count them. Go, walk every direction, for I am giving the land to you." Abram then moved his camp to Hebron, settled near an oak grove that belonged to Mamre, and built an altar to the Lord. Shortly after, war came across in the region. The rebel king Sodom and all the other kings with him prepared for battle that was going to happen in the valley of the Dead Sea. This was going to be a battle of 4 kings against 5. The valley of the Dead Sea was filled with tar pits. Sodom and Gomorrah fled home, but some warriors fell into the tar pits while others fled into the mountains. The winning invaders took all the spoils of war and food supplies from Sodom and Gomorrah and headed home. Along the way, they captured Abram's nephew Lot, who lived in Sodom. They carried off everything Lot owned. One of Lot's spies escaped and told Abram, who was a Hebrew, everything. Abram had allies, his family Mamre, Eshel, and Aner. Abram then sent out 318 men who had been trained and born in his house. Abram took back what belonged to Lot and brought it to him, including the women and other captives. When Abram was back home from his victory win over Kedorlaomer and his allies, the king of Sodom met Abram in the valley of Sheveh, which is also called the King's Valley. The king of Salem and a priest of the Most High God, named Melchizedek, brought Abram some wine and bread. Melchizedek blessed Abram by saying, "Blessed be Abram from the Most High God, the Creator of heaven and earth. Blessed be the Most High God. He defeated your enemies for you." Of all the goods Abram received, he gave Melchizedek 1/10 of what he had won. The king of Sodom told Abram, "Give me back my people whom you captured. You may keep all the goods for yourself." Abram said to the king, "I promise to the Lord, the Most High God, the Creator of heaven and earth, I will not take a single thread of sandal that belongs to you. You might say, I am the reason Abram is rich. I only accept what my young warriors have eaten already. I request I receive my fair share of the goods from my allies, along with Aner, Eshel, and Mamre." In a vision, the Lord said to Abram, "I will protect you, Abram. Your reward will be great. Do not be afraid." Abram responded to the Lord, saying, "Lord, I have no children. What more can you give me? The child to inherit my land is Eliezer of Damascus. A servant in my house will be the heir because I have no children." The Lord said to Abram, "He will not be your heir, for I will give you a son of your flesh and blood. Count the stars in the sky, for you cannot count them. Your children shall be the same way." Abram believed everything the Lord said to him, and God said he was righteous. The Lord said to Abram again, "I brought you out of Ur, the Chaldeans, to give you this land, to take possession of it, because I am the Lord." Abram said to the Lord, "But Lord, how will I know I will gain possession?" The Lord responded, "Bring me a female calf who has not yet given birth, a goat and a ram, all of them 3 years old, with a dove and a young pigeon." So Abram brought all of what the Lord asked for, cut them in half, and arranged the halves opposite of each other. The birds he did not cut in half, though. The birds came down to the dead animals, but Abram drove them away. When the sun was setting, Abram fell into a very deep sleep, and a dreadful darkness came over him. The Lord said to him, "Know that beyond a doubt, for hundreds of years, your children will be stranger, enslaved and mistreated in a country they are not from. I will punish the nation they are not from, but they will come out with possessions. You will go to your ancestors in peace and will be buried at an old age. During the 14th generation of your descendants, they will come back here. The Amorites have not reached its full measure." After the sun set and night came across the land, a fire pot with a blazing torch passed between the pieces. That night, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, "I give this land to your descendants."